If you think the best games have to be 100-hour epics, think again. Some of the most unforgettable gaming experiences you'll ever have can be finished in a single weekend. They don't waste your time, they don't rely on endless open worlds, and somehow they manage to tell incredible stories, deliver amazing gameplay, and leave a lasting impression in under 15 hours. Now don't get me wrong, I love massive adventures like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Baldur's Gate 3. But sometimes you just want a game you can start on a Friday night and finish by Monday morning. So today, I've put together some of the very best short games you can play, with every title on this list taking less than 15 hours to beat. From surviving the horrors of Resident Evil 2 to uncovering the mysteries of Firewatch, I can almost guarantee there's at least one incredible game here that you haven't played yet. So let's jump straight into the list. Limbo is a critically acclaimed puzzle platformer developed by Playdead, the independent Danish studio that later created Inside. First released in 2010, Limbo delivers a haunting experience that can be completed in around 3 to 5 hours, proving that a short game can leave a lasting impression. You play as a young boy who awakens in a mysterious black and white world, searching for his missing sister. The story is told entirely without dialogue or cutscenes, leaving players to interpret its meaning through the environment and the events they experience. Themes of loss, isolation, fear, and perseverance are woven throughout the journey, creating an unsettling atmosphere that sticks with you long after you finish the game. What makes Limbo so memorable is its clever blend of platforming and environmental puzzles. Every area introduces new mechanics, from manipulating gravity and magnets to avoiding deadly traps and giant spiders. Death is frequent, but it's not overly punishing, allowing players to experiment and learn through trial and error. Each obstacle feels like a carefully designed puzzle, rather than a simple test of reflexes. Visually, Limbo's minimalistic art style is one of its greatest strengths. Its monochrome world, heavy shadows, and subtle sound design create constant tension, proving that you don't need detailed graphics to build an unforgettable atmosphere. Every silhouette and background element adds to the feeling that something dangerous is always lurking just out of sight. Limbo remains one of the finest indie games ever made. Its unique presentation, intelligent puzzle design, and emotionally ambiguous storytelling make it a timeless adventure that's still well worth experiencing today. Words could not describe how annoyed and disappointed I felt after hearing the news that Tango Gameworks was dropped by Microsoft in 2024, as Hi-Fi Rush was such an interesting and unique experience when it was released onto Game Pass in 2023. This rhythm-based action-adventure game rocked my world when I played it on release, scratching a Ratchet and Clank-shaped itch while adding a unique rhythm and timing-based combat system, which was a standout feature for the game. Furthermore, its animated style gave the title a flavour akin to an early 2000s cartoon, with its witty comebacks, comedic timing, and goofy yet overly confident protagonist who you couldn't help but love. The story of Hi-Fi Rush is a call to action against late-stage capitalism, as the players follow Chai on his mission to disrupt the machinations of Vandelay Technologies, supported by his friends Peppermint, Macaroon, Cinnamon, and the robot cat 808. With a runtime of just over 10 hours, Hi-Fi Rush is a short and sweet adventure that feels like a breath of fresh air, which is objectively fun to experience. Although the timings can take a little getting used to, landing combos and counters feels awesome, and something I hope I'll get to experience more in the future, if Krafton decides to reboot the IP for a sequel. Mafia Definitive Edition is a full remake of the 2002 classic, developed by Hangar 13. Clocking in at around 10 to 13 hours, it delivers a tightly paced, cinematic crime story that captures the feel of classic gangster films without demanding dozens of hours from the player. Set in the fictional city of Lost Heaven during the 1930s, you play as Tommy Angelo, an ordinary taxi driver whose life changes forever after a chance encounter with the Salieri crime family. As Tommy rises through the ranks of the Mafia, he finds himself caught between loyalty, ambition, and his own moral compass. The game explores themes of family, power, betrayal, greed, and the consequences of a life of crime, telling a grounded story that remains engaging from beginning to end. Unlike many modern open-world games, Mafia Definitive Edition uses its city as a backdrop for its narrative rather than filling it with endless side activities. The focus stays firmly on its memorable missions, cinematic storytelling, and well-developed cast of characters. Gameplay combines third-person shooting, cover-based combat, stealth, and authentic 1930s driving. One particularly immersive feature is the classic difficulty mode, which introduces driving physics, stricter police enforcement, and limited mission assistance, creating an experience much closer to the original game. Vehicles each handle differently, encouraging players to adapt to the era's slower, heavier automobiles. Mafia Definitive Edition is a fantastic remake that respects the original while modernising nearly every aspect of it. With stunning visuals, excellent performances, and a gripping crime drama, it's one of the best narrative games you can finish in a single weekend. Stray is proof that you don't need a 100-hour open world to leave a lasting impression. Developed by Blue 12 Studio, this atmospheric adventure can be completed in around 5 to 8 hours, making it the perfect game for players looking for a memorable experience without a huge time commitment. You play as a stray cat separated from its family, exploring a mysterious cyberpunk city inhabited by robots after humanity has disappeared. Along the way, you're joined by a tiny drone companion named B12, who helps translate the world, solve puzzles, and uncover the secrets of the city's forgotten past. One of Stray's greatest achievements is its environmental storytelling. Themes of loneliness, hope, friendship, and perseverance are woven throughout every location, while the decaying neon-lit city tells its own story without relying on lengthy cutscenes. The relationship between the cat and B12 becomes the emotional heart of the adventure. Gameplay focuses on exploration, light platforming, puzzle solving, and stealth, rather than combat. The movement feels incredibly natural, with carefully designed jumps that keep traversal smooth and satisfying. You can also embrace your inner cat by scratching furniture, knocking objects off ledges, curling up for a nap, or meowing whenever you feel like. Stray proves that sometimes the simplest ideas make for the most unforgettable adventures, with its beautiful world, touching story, and unique perspective. It's a game that stands out from almost everything else released in recent years, and one that's absolutely worth experiencing. Doom marked the explosive return of gaming's most iconic franchises. Developed by id Software, this fast-paced first-person shooter can be completed in around 11 to 13 hours, making it a perfect choice for players looking for an action-packed campaign that doesn't overstay its welcome. You step into the boots of the legendary Doomslayer, an unstoppable force awakened on a Mars research facility overrun by demons after catastrophic experiments with Hell's energy go horribly wrong. The story takes a backseat to the action, but themes of survival, vengeance, humanity's reckless pursuit for power, and the battle against overwhelming evil run throughout the campaign. What truly sets Doom apart is its aggressive combat philosophy. Instead of hiding behind cover, the game constantly pushes the player forward. One of its signature mechanics is the glory kill system, allowing you to execute weakened enemies in brutal finishing moves. Not only are these incredibly satisfying to watch, but they also restore health, and this encourages players to stay in the fight rather than retreat. Chainsaw executions provide ammunitions, while later upgrades allow enemies to drop armor, creating a combat loop built around constant movement and calculated aggression. Each weapon feels powerful and distinct, from the devastating super shotgun to the iconic BFG 9000, while upgrades and rune challenges let you tailor your playstyle throughout the campaign. Doom 2016 successfully modernised a classic series without losing what made it legendary. Its blistering speed, incredible soundtrack, and endlessly satisfying combat make it one of the greatest first-person shooters of the modern era. The shortest entry on our list today is from the developers at Tarsier Studios. Little Nightmares' runtime is roughly 5 hours, for what can only be described as a short but sinister story. Little Nightmares does not shy away from the unnerving, with its themes of starvation, greed, and the loss of childhood innocence being central to the player's experience. Although we learn very little about the wider world and the protagonists themselves, this adds to the chilling nature of the experience that is Little Nightmares. From escaping murderous cooks to evading ravenous patrons, you are truly met with a bleak and dystopian outlook, which looks to expose the gluttonous nature of those who look down on the most vulnerable members of today's society. Despite this, our protagonist shows incredible determination, driven by hunger and a sheer will to survive, that serves as a reminder to how desperation can be an incredible tool for survival against such cruelty. Similar to some of the themes shown in films like Spirited Away. With its dark and unsaturated colour palette, as well as the eerie and uncomfortable sound design, Little Nightmares provides a truly unique environment for players to traverse, with plenty of room for extra exploration too, when you're not fighting for your life to become someone's next meal, that is, as this title shines through as another example of the fantastic work indie studios are capable of when given free rein on their creative direction. Now, if you are searching for a true indie classic, Keeper from the developers at Double Fine is what you are searching for. A masterclass in visual storytelling and sound design with a touching story of friendship and rebirth, this title is a shining light of what storytelling in gaming is capable of. Over the course of roughly 8 hours, Keeper takes you through a fantasy world that is overcome with a darkness, known as the Wither. Not to be confused with the one from Minecraft, of course. With our light-shaped protagonists possessing the power to dispel the Wither using their light. Although there is no intelligible dialogue to speak of throughout the course of Keeper, apart from some squawks and grumbles, our two main protagonists are infinitely endearing, with powerful themes of loneliness, friendship, and growth being central to the Keeper's message. Although it's possible to spend longer exploring the Keeper and what it has to offer, with hidden totems waiting to be found in remote corners of explorable areas, it is very possible to get every achievement in this game in a relatively short period of time, if you're that way inclined. However, I want to close this entry by reiterating how unique the Keeper is as the protagonist physically evolves throughout the game, whilst encountering all manner of creatures in need of help throughout this weird and wonderful adventure. Resident Evil 2, from the developers at Capcom, was my introduction to the Resident Evil franchise, and from my experience, it's the clear prototype for the horror genre in gaming. With puzzles that require quick thinking and combat that forces the player to think strategically in order to conserve ammunition, there's plenty of challenge for a game which on the surface has quite simplistic mechanics. With my runtime for this game standing at just under 12 hours for a Leon Kennedy playthrough, where I did spend a lot of time looting every room available for ammunition and upgrades, this entry is the perfect length to binge over the weekend or pick up and play after work. As far as my enjoyment while playing Resident Evil 2, the game has incredible pacing. While certain segments have you chased around the map by the Tyrant, applying an extra level of tension as you listen out for his footsteps stalking you around the police station in the early game, Furthermore, if you really enjoy your first playthrough, the game offers the option of playing as either Leon Kennedy or Claire Redfield. This provides a different perspective on the story, while there are also plenty of collectibles and challenges for those who like to get the most out of every game. Few games have left such a profound impression on my outlook on life than our next title on this list, Firewatch. From the developers at Campo Santo, Firewatch serves as an advertisement to break away from AAA developed games every once in a while, to experience something truly incredible and unique. Without spoiling too much, only Expedition 33 has made me feel such raw emotions of grief and loss from the get-go, as this title truly displays what it means to feel human. From themes of selfishness to selflessness, the intro will have you wondering what could have been. And that's before we even make it to the main course of this title, as we uncover the eerie mystery surrounding the Wyoming wilderness as you are stalked and taunted by mysterious figures while trying to maintain your watch over the surrounding forest, supported by your colleague, Delilah.
Help! Oh God, it's an emergency!
Oh, really?
The themes of vulnerability and solitude are intercut with romance and guilt, making this a story of profound example of human storytelling, which is supported by the timeless beauty and environmental design that will no doubt have every player stopping to take in the views and no doubt reflect on their own situation. So if you're looking for a short adventure, Firewatch packs its whole story into a playtime of roughly 5 hours, making it the perfect length to enjoy over a weekend while enjoying a beer or the company of a loved one. Dead Space, from the developers at EA, to me, is my favourite horror game I have played to date, with the Ishimura providing some of the most tense, close-quarters gunplay I have experienced from any game. So if you love a game with incredible atmosphere, with a bit of a challenge and hair-raising enemies, then you need to play this one if you haven't already. This chilling sci-fi adventure follows the main protagonist of Isaac Clarke, as he and his crew look to contain a zombie-like alien outbreak which has been brought about by the actions of a doomsday cult. Running for just under 15 hours, with the potential for much more depending on how much of a completionist you are. Where this game really stands out is its variation and strategy that is required to survive the enemy encounters, with a truly awesome arsenal at Isaac's disposal, including a flamethrower, contact beam, ripper, and of course the iconic plasma cutter. No two encounters will ever feel the same. Although the combat feels immense, the characters and voice actors' delivery make every twist and betrayal really hit home, with the sound design and visuals give this title the feeling of a true sci-fi epic that every player needs to experience at least once. And hey, if you enjoy it that much, the series has 2 sequels to give you plenty more to get your ripper stuck into. So there you have it. Proof that you don't need a massive open world or a 100-hour commitment to experience some of the very best gaming has to offer. Whether you're solving puzzles in Resident Evil 2, surviving the horrors of Dead Space, uncovering the mysteries of Firewatch, tearing through demons in Doom, or simply wandering a cyberpunk city as a stray cat in Stray, every one of these games delivers something memorable without asking for weeks of your time. In a world where game backlogs seem to grow faster than we can finish them, sometimes the best choice is picking up something you can actually see through to the credits. These shorter experiences respect your time while still offering incredible stories, unforgettable characters, and gameplay that's just as satisfying as any blockbuster RPG. Of course, this list is just the beginning. There are plenty of amazing story games that didn't make the cut. So let me know down in the comments which games you think deserve a spot on this list. I'd love to hear your recommendations, and who knows, they might even feature in a future video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you're new to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future rankings, reviews, and gaming recommendations. You've been awesome, and I've been Callum. I'll see you next time.